All right, this is part 2 of the Rock of Ages song. We did verses 1 and 2 in the other video, so now we're going to do verses 3 and 4. We didn't sing 3 in church, but we'll go ahead and learn it anyway. And so here we go. So, nothing in my hands I bring. So this is nothing. We've had that before. In my hands you could do this if you wanted to. Most deaf probably just do this instead of the I. Bring is the same as carry, so bring. Simply, this is simple or easy. So simply to thy cross I cling. So you want to cling to something. Naked, come to thee for dress. So naked, you want to come across this way, across your fingers. I always have gotten that confused with early, which is going across that way. Okay, so that's early. This is either empty or naked or something to that effect. Okay, so naked, come, or if you want to aim it up there, because we're going to him. So you could do the sign for come to thee, or you could do like go to thee, if you like. For dress. Helpless, we've had that before. Helpless, helpless. Look to thee for, here's our grace again, grace that we learned in video 1. Foul. So I'm going to do dirty for that. Dirty, foul. I to the fountain fly. So dirty, and then I'm going to fly up there. So you do this kind of hand. So that's an airplane flying, and then we have the fountain. So I fly to the fountain. That's my interpretation. Somebody probably has a much better one. Okay, wash me, Savior. If you want to do or, you can do this. That's the same as then. Or and then, got to get it in context. Or I, which you could leave out, die. You remember die. Okay. Last verse. While I draw this fleeting breath. So while is like this. You kind of make a curve down and up. While I draw this fleeting breath. I'm just going to really say, I'm going to say final and breathe. So it's kind of like while I final breathe. Okay. Because there isn't any sign for drawing that makes sense for that. You don't want to draw something. Okay. All right. So when mine eyes shall close in death. So when, remember our timeline, and that's when on the timeline. When my eyes shall close in death. And I'm not doing this because that means blind. So with your eyes closed and using 2 fingers like that. So I'm doing this and closing my eyes in death. When I soar to worlds unknown. So here's when. And again, we're going to soar. This is the same as fly. Soar. And I'll put my worlds up here since I've just soared up there. To worlds. That's W's going around like this. Worlds unknown. So remember, this is know and this is don't know. So this is when I, and you can leave off the I if you don't have time. Soar to worlds unknown. See thee on thy judgment throne. On thy, this is judgment. You take F's, And they're going up and down as if to decide what's right and what's wrong. Once you make a decision, this is decide. You come down firmly. Decide or decision. That's the decision. But judging, it's iffy. We got to figure it out. So, in fact, this is the sign for if. But for judge, I do it farther out. Okay? So, if, decide, judgment. And then for throne, remember it's sit, and then you make the armrest of the throne. And then we again have our rock of ages, cleft, for me, let me hide myself in thee. And those last two lines we talked about on the first video. So check that out if you haven't seen that yet. Okay, so those last two were easier, so we didn't have time to do the days of the week on the first two verses, so we'll do it now. So we have, for Monday, you take an M and make a circle. Tuesday, you take a T and make a circle. Wednesday, take a W and make a circle. It's pretty easy, right? Thursday, you take an H and make a circle. Or some people might do TH. But just to be consistent. And actually I saw, when I looked up Thursday, because I've been pretty much checking everything for changes since I learned so long ago. So I checked, sign language changes just like other languages do. And so I checked and I found some really weird things to do for Thursday. So, but I also saw this, or TH. So I'm going to stick with that. Thursday, Friday is your F. Saturday is your S. Sunday is the only one that's really different. And that's where you take two flat hands and go around like this, Sunday. Okay, maybe it reminds me of the sign for wonderful. It's a wonderful Sunday. Okay, so I don't know. All right, so those are some time signs for you to go along with this. And next up will be practice to music.